Blavet & Co Solicitors, committed to excellence.
Hi, I'm Rebecca Hewes and I'm a member of the Family Department here at Blavet. Due to developments within society and science, a new area of family law has emerged, which is around the creation of children and their non-traditional families. Fertility treatments such as donor conception and surrogacy provide the possibility for individuals and couples to become parents where they may not previously have been able to do so. As a result, the concept of parenthood has effectively been broken down into 3 stages: conception, pregnancy and the raising of children. It's important to know your legal status at each stage, and we can help you with this to protect you and support your family. It is important to know who a child's parents are when using fertility treatment, as that although you may consider yourself to be your child's parent, this may not legally be the case. As a legally recognised parent, you should have parental responsibility. This enables you to make decisions regarding your child, such as education, religion and their medical care. So a brief guide as to who is a legally recognised parent. UK law is clear that the woman who gives birth to the child is legally recognised as its mother. It is irrelevant whether the child was created through use of donor eggs and whether or not the birth mother is a surrogate. As the child's mother, the birth mother automatically has parental responsibility for the child. If the birth mother is married at the time of the child's birth, then her husband is legally recognised as the child's father. Since 2008, if the birth mother is in a civil partnership when the child is born, then her civil partner will legally be recognised as what is known as the child's second parent. As the legally recognised father or as the second parent, they automatically have parental responsibility for the child and can be registered on the child's birth certificate as such. If you are not in a legally recognised partnership, then it can be more complex. If you receive donor treatment in a licensed UK clinic, then the birth mother and her partner, whether male or female, will be required to sign parenthood election consent forms throughout the conception process. These are conclusive of both parties' consent to the conception and show the partner's intention to become the father or second parent to the child. If the consent forms are signed by both throughout the treatment, then the birth mother will be the mother and the partner will be the child's legally recognised father or second parent. They can then be registered as such on the birth certificate and will have parental responsibility for the child. If you conceive using donor sperm outside of a clinic, then if the birth mother is married, her husband will be legally recognised as the father of the child, regardless of the fact that another man's sperm will be used, providing conception occurs artificially. If the birth mother is in a civil partnership and conceives at home through the use of donated sperm, then the sperm donor will be legally recognised as the child's father. The birth mother's civil partner will have no automatic recognition as a legal parent, and it is very important to be aware of this, as without recognition as a second parent, you may not have parental responsibility for the child and the sperm donor might. If you plan to use donor conception, but as an intended parent may not be the legally recognised parent, then you can make an application to adopt the child. For example, a same-sex male couple, A and B, are the intended parents of a child created through donation of A's sperm to the birth mother C, then B can adopt the child, providing C consents, and as a result, A and B would become the legally recognised parents of the child. It is important to know that the law will only recognise a child as having a maximum of 2 parents. A third parent cannot achieve the same legal status. This can cause difficulties in co-parenting agreements, as a donor father may be unhappy that his legal status is overridden by the status of another parent, particularly if he intends to play a part in the child's upbringing, or an intended parent may find that they have no legally recognised status for their child. The law at present does not recognise co-parenting agreements. These may still be useful to create and have, as they enable the foundations of a parenting agreement to be laid out clearly. There is also some indication from the courts that such agreements may receive greater recognition in the future. We can advise you in preparing or amending a parental agreement. The courts are also beginning to recognise the rights of co-parent fathers, and we can advise you if you are concerned about this or if you are a co-parent father. It is illegal within the UK to advertise for a surrogate, advertise to be a surrogate, or to provide surrogates. It is also illegal to pay a surrogate for their services. The type of surrogacy has no impact on the legal status of the birth mother in the UK. However, you can have a child through a surrogacy arrangement within the UK. Many parents who undertake surrogacy travel abroad to countries such as America, India or the Ukraine, where surrogacy and commercial surrogacy is not illegal. However, should you plan on taking this route, you must remember that no matter what the law of the country where the child is conceived and born, and no matter what the country's birth certificate says, UK law will only recognise the child's birth mother, i.e. the surrogate mother, as its legal mother. Should you be planning on travelling abroad to undertake a surrogacy arrangement, our immigration department will be happy to advise you in relation to bringing your child back to the UK and obtaining a British passport. The key things you need to know about surrogacy are: if a surrogate mother is married at the time she gives birth, then her husband is legally the recognised father of the child, can be registered as such on the birth certificate and has parental responsibility. If the surrogate is unmarried at the time she gives birth, then the intended father can be registered on the birth certificate as the child's father, or, in some circumstances, either of the intended mothers can be nominated as the second parent, registered as such on the birth certificate and have parental responsibility for the child. Should you have a child through surrogacy, you, the intended parents, can apply for what is called a parental order. This, if granted, results in a new birth certificate being drawn up for the child, which will state the intended parents as the parents of the child. Parental orders can only be used for an arrangement where a conception has taken place artificially. In the UK, no more than reasonable expenses must have been paid to the surrogate during the arrangement. What constitutes reasonable depends on the facts of each case and is determined by the court. To apply for a parental order, the intended parents must both be over 18, must be either married to each other, in a civil partnership or living together in an enduring family relationship. Parental orders can only be granted to a couple at this present time. Either or both of the intended parents must be a biological parent of the child. Either or both of the intended parents must be domiciled in a part of the UK, the Channel Islands or the Isle of Man. To make an application for a parental order, an application can be made by completing and submitting a form called a C51 to a family proceedings court. This must be submitted within 6 months of the child's birth. And at the time, the child must be living with the intended parents, and the surrogate mother, and her husband if she has one, must consent to the order being made. The surrogate cannot validly consent until the child is 6 weeks old. Once it receives the application, the court will send a copy with an acknowledgement form to the intended parents. They must give this to the surrogate mother to sign and return to the court. If the case is straightforward and it's dealt with within the family proceedings court in 2 hearings. At hearing number 1, the court will appoint a parental order reporter. They will interview and assess the intended parents and the surrogate mother and prepare a report. At hearing 2, assuming there has been no complications, such as a negative report or an issue regarding payments, the parental order is granted and the intended parents become legally the child's parents. It is possible to undergo and complete the legal process yourself. However, it can be reassuring to be given some guidance on what to do and what to expect, and this is where we can help. It can also be useful to seek legal advice on your position and options in the sad eventuality that your relationship comes to an end, and we can advise on this. For any more advice on this area or any other area of family law, please contact Blavo & Co on 0207 025 2020 or visit www.legalblavo.co.uk.